Ladies and gentlemen, guys, without further ado, I bring to you the show that's on the Geo with yours truly, Rod O and Stereo. And I got this called the Rodcast Podcast. I got my main man, my right-hand man with the plan. What's going on? Double B.
What's going on?
I'm out of control on a fucking regular basis, but you already know that. And can we introduce our guest? You know what I'm saying? Because this guy, he's a talented motherfucker. Yes, he is. Anthony Salame. Am I pronouncing it right?
You're pronouncing it absolutely wrong.
Okay, all right.
Like, you come ask me to be in your podcast.
Yep.
The Rodcast podcast.
The Rodcast.
Which I'm a fan of, by the way. And then you fuck my name up before I've even said it.
Savagely fucked it up.
Yeah, Salame.
Well, no, I want him to see. This is the thing. I knew he was gonna come in here.
Try and backpedal, bro.
Off track. He gonna fucking give it to me now.
Well, listen,
the Ant-Man.
My brother. Thanks for having me on,
man. I wanted to have you on because you're gonna have us on.
Well, of course. Hey, listen.
I mean, joking. No, I was talking about joking. You're having us on.
Oh, okay. I was going to say on my podcast.
Right,
I want to get you on, but I have had no guests yet. So, I mean, you'd be a good first guest.
Because you were one-man band type thing. But let me backtrack here a little bit. We met in Lebanon, right?
We did.
In Beirut.
Yes.
Right? And you were doing some major shit on the radio over there.
I was doing breakfast radio for Virgin Radio, Richard Branson Group.
Right.
I launched that over there in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, shit, are we getting straight into it?
No, but you launched. When you launched, that was just you. But you had a girl with you.
I had a co-host with me. But I'd never done radio before. I was just doing my stand-up comedy, my acting here in Australia. And the CEO of Virgin Radio International is actually an Aussie guy, Ian Grace. He's one of the dudes that started Triple M back in the day. And he said to me, through reference, I got to give a shout out to Chris Fade.
Okay.
My boy
I remember him. He was like one of my little dudes.
Back in the day on the edge. Now he's like the king in Dubai.
Yes.
So, he put my name forward.
The motherfucker.
A couple of months later, I got an offer.
All right.
I said, you know what? I'm going to try Lebanon for a year. I'd only been once or twice, although my background's Lebanese. I didn't go as a child. I went a couple times for vacation, and I said, I'm going to try it for a year. I never done radio. And after 6 months, the show went #1 in the country.
Yes.
And I said, I'll give it another year. And then after that, it just kept climbing. And then
how many years?
6.5 years.
Wow.
And I just came back a couple months ago. So
How's the adjustment from Lebanon to Sydney?
I haven't adjusted yet, man.
Better or worse?
No, it's a reversed adjustment. You got to come down.
Because I have I personally love Beirut, Lebanon.
Yeah.
I could live there in the summertime.
It's the best 6 years of my life.
Yeah, that's great.
I lived on a resort on the Mediterranean. I finished work at 10 a.m. every day. And, the country made me feel like a king.
Yes.
Everywhere I went.
Well, I'm going to stop him right now. He is the king over that joint. I went over there, man, and everybody loved him. Man. Every fucking body loved him. Everywhere he goes, it's like the red carpet. Yeah. Now he come back here and he got black carpet.
You know what?
And he's cleaning driveways and sandblasting shit.
Before Lebanon, like I was saying before we went online, like he did a skit called From Lebanon with Love, which was, 2003 you said?
Yeah, we toured for a couple of years with that.
Man, that was one of the funniest skits. Like, so you have to be Lebanese to sort of get it.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. You know what I'm saying? So like, when I came over there to Lebanon, right, you were talking in English. So how?
Yeah, 100% English, man. So like everyone gets it there. Like the music on the radio is the music that you hear over here. It's like a top 40 radio
top 40 show. I want to clear that. I didn't hear no R&B and hip-hop stations over that motherfucker.
How I connected, I think, with the audience over there was my background's Lebanese. So when I started talking about growing up eating foods like Benny would know what I'm talking about, kabineye and like tabbouleh, all this stuff that man, don't anglicize it, bro.
Tabbouleh.
Listen, tabbouleh. Say it with me. Tabbouleh.
Tabbouleh.
Yeah, there you go.
Tabbouleh. I'm Lebo.
You gotta go bull, not bear.
Bull.
Bull, like tabbouleh.
Like tabbouleh.
Tabbouleh.
I got you, man. Tabbouleh.
So when I started talking about... That's it. When I started referencing all that stuff growing up, the people straight away connected with me. You know what I mean?
Yes. So because you got a heavy connection from Australia. Now, I'm going to tell you this here, BB. He was telling me this story over there on air. Yeah. You know what I mean? To all his Lebanese constituency that was listening of how he got into the Radidio thing. Ant was telling me, you want to repeat that story, man? Because I'm proud of that shit. That's why, Ant, take it away, man.
I got to give props to Rod because...
I want to hear this.
Yeah. You know, when I was in high school...
Yeah.
There wasn't no Netflix, there wasn't no YouTube, there was no internet.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We were just listening to the radio, and there was a couple of shows on television you'd watch. So at night, you'd have the radio on. You'd be listening to whatever's on. So this man in front of me right here had a show called Between the Sheets.
Yes.
Do you remember this show?
Yes, I do.
So it was the only hip hop and R&B, like a show designated for hip hop and R&B on radio. And I'm a hip hop head. I grew up listening to hip hop. So, I'd wait every week for this show, Between the Sheets with Rodney O. And, I used to record the show
on the cassette
player. On the cassette tape, press record, pause, play.
Not cassette, the cassette player.
Yes.
So this guy was one of, I guess... I'd easily say influence, but his attitude and his personality was like no other on Australian radio, and that's why he stood out. And man, it's a pleasure to be doing this, man.
100%. But that's why I wanted to talk. 100%.
Been a minute.
That's why I wanted to talk to you about because we can relate to each other. You, the king. I'm an ex-king.
You're always a king, man.
I'm always. That's right. I'm always going to be a king. But you, my man, with the crown and the jewels, I was watching that shit. I seen that shit over there. So, but do you understand what it takes to get into the game and what to maintain? You have to train the brain to maintain, to fit in to the airwaves and the protocols that they have on this Radidio shit.
Yeah.
Me, I'm just a beast. I don't give a fuck. An F-U-C-K, because I'm going to be me to the day that I die. Now, if you want to work with me and roll with me and have me do shit with you, and if you feel that I can roll, let's get it on. But there is some protocols here. Look, can we touch on this? How did you become number one? Did you have any have to watch what you say or how you said it? Because you were using English in an Arabic-speaking country.
Listen, I mean, there was kind of two rules over there when it comes to radio. It's like, don't really speak about politics or religion negatively.
Yep.
Okay? And I'm cool with that because I respect everybody's faith, whether they have one or they don't. And the politics over there is so messed up. And it's just not even worth getting it. And to be honest, I couldn't get into it because I'm this dude that's just come to the country. I don't know the generations of fuckery going on over there. Let's call it how it is.
Yes.
So for me to then comment on that, it wouldn't be right anyway because I wouldn't know what the hell's going on. So I was cool with those two rules. And like you said, it's important to, I think, just be yourself. And I was a unique voice. They had never really had stand-up comics working on radio. I mean, it's a pretty common thing here in Australia. But over there, never had been done. So
did you have to watch your jokes? Did you couldn't?
Nah, man.
You could
over
just
there,
let it go?
it's more free than what it is here.
I was going to say they wouldn't have a code of conduct on Lebanese radio.
Man, they say they do, but nobody gives a shit. You know?
Well, when announcers and talent don't give a shit, you can sometimes find yourself in strife. Now, you just recently come back to Australia. There's a dude, right, that I dig and I've worked with over the years. His name is Kyle Sandilands.
Of course.
Right?
I'm a fan.
They call him King Kyle here now. He usually gets away with saying things that don't have guardrails. You know what I mean? He can go left, right, up, round, and he has them.
Well, that's how he's built his career on that, right? They call him a shock jock.
That's right.
Because he said... Now the word shock jock, I'm not a big fan of it because I think that's his personality. I don't think... he intentionally is out there to shock people. I think he likes to. I think he likes to get under people's skin. I mean, you know him. You're a friend of his, so I don't know him. He is a friend. I don't know him personally, but from just what I've seen over his career, because like I said, I've been a fan over the years.
I have to say, one of I agree with you. I agree, and where I think he knows where the line is. He knows where to push it and doesn't overstep. I think I've got to use one of his jokes because I find that I love comics, and this guy, there was like a rape victim, and he asked her if she'd ever had sex before on live radio.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that was like, that's Kyle's limit. You know what I mean? You can't go past that. If you can appreciate comedy, you can see the humor in that to a certain extent.
I don't know whether he was trying to be funny with that though.
But that's just how his personality just comes across as funny, and he just says it.
This is the thing with. I mean, he's in a bit of trouble right now. Well, he got into a bit of trouble right now with what he said. It was about the Virgin Mary, right?
Yeah.
And listen, I mean, me personally, like I'm a Catholic, so I'm not down with what he said, but I think at the same time, so many people that are fighting back or trying to stand up for their faith, which is great. I'm all for standing up for what you believe in, but some people are doing it in good taste and doing it with respect, some people are going out there cursing at him, cursing at his mother.
Death threats.
That's bullshit.
But we're not taught to do that. That's the problem.
I know. And
but it's people that's claiming they Christians is talking about killing.
If you want to be real,
they talk about running through here and having their own inquisition.
That's right. If you want to be real, we're actually taught to turn the other cheek. Well, that's what we're taught.
A real Christian would say, "I'll pray for him." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
not wait outside the station with a nistel.
Yeah, they're on some bullshit. And with me, like, man, I'm a stand-up comedian. I've been working the comedy clubs for 16 years. I've heard comedians say a lot worse shit than that.
Shoot,
right?
No doubt.
And I'm, for me, I've always had a strong faith. That's something that is personal to me, and something that I like that part of my life, you know. But in saying that, I've got friends. Very close friends that
losing their shit over this.
I mean, no, I'm saying comics that don't give a shit about religion or they don't care about and they'll go out and say some outlandish shit, not just on stage, backstage when we're in the green room.
Sure.
But I'm not going to come out and say, how dare you say that? I mean, everyone's got their own life. Everyone can say what they say, but
suffer the consequences.
But Kyle is in a different situation, man. He's got, millions of people tuning into him. And I think he knows what he said was fucked up. I think he's realized that now. I think he might think before he attacks someone's religion to that extent. Because, hey, listen, man, I've had jokes about my faith and about Lent and fasting and all that kind of stuff. But to say that one of the main
characters,
people, or like one of the holiest people according to the Christian faith and to the Muslim faith, referring to her like a prostitute. I mean, man, we're talking over half of the world's population. You're going at the jugular. People are going to buy back
100%. And on top of that, that's then saying that Jesus was formed via a prostitute having sex.
Yes.
All right, now you know what? I'm going to cut in here, right? Because all of this is coming from a book.
Yeah.
All of what you're saying is based on a book.
Yeah.
Right? That some dudes wrote.
Yeah.
Now, people might say and be upset that I called them dudes, but they got they're human beings.
They are definitely.
Can I just say one thing?
Go ahead.
I want to talk about that. Like we should, and that's a good topic.
100%.
I think the core problem though is not what he said. I think the core problem is how what he said. That's a big problem. But how society took what he said and didn't really they treated it with a grain of salt. Whereas what we saw with Israel Folau's situation, he was branded as
the football player, the rugby union guy,
as homophobic.
Yeah.
Right, by what he posted,
Yeah.
and Kyle spoke words that were very, very. It was almost religious, discrimination, or you could call it.
Of course, it is.
You can call it religious discrimination. You can call it hate speech. You can call it whatever you want.
You can call it his opinion.
But the way that people took it, and you can call Israel Folau's thing his opinion too, if you want to.
That's
but the way that it was treated was completely different to how Israel Folau's was. Israel Folau was hung out to dry. And Kyle has sort of the only people that are making any noise are the people that believe in it. And when we saw Israel Folau's thing, a lot of people that not necessarily pro-homosexual, but people were getting behind the people that were feeling that they were wrongly treated.
Can I just interrupt here, man? This is what's so messed up in this country and maybe in the world in general is
Right.
that, listen, Israel Folau, I don't think you should say anyone should burn in hell, whether it's a post or not.
Right,
But
and it's
don't
Instagram.
fucking cut the dude's livelihood
That's
off.
right.
That's his opinion, just like with TV shows.
That's right.
Like, listen, I do so many interviews with newspapers and that they always, my whole career have branded me as politically incorrect. Like this fucking brand. Like, listen, if you don't like something, change the channel, unfollow,
Yeah.
don't watch, don't listen. It's that easy.
Simple.
Don't ruin
right.
someone's life.
That's right.
Because you're offended by something. We're all offended by shit every day.
Every single day.
You know?
Every
Kyle
single day.
shouldn't be sacked. It's not. That's
No,
not what
he
needs to
shouldn't.
happen.
He
I
shouldn't
agree.
be sacked.
No, what they should do is come out on the radio and say, "Look, we fucked up. We're sorry. All right, what was said was wrong." A formal apology would be. I think that'll put it to bed, and everyone will get over it. Like everyone's gotten over.
Yeah, but
worse
at
things
the
in
end of the
past.
day, you know what, man? In this country, real talk, there's a different way of being dealt with if you have a different
100%.
exterior and aesthetic.
Say it
all
how
right?
it is. That's the way
Say
it
it
is,
how
bro.
it
It's the
is. It's
fucking way
black
it is.
and white.
Yeah.
In this country here, you got a country here that, you know, does have a different way of dealing
We've
with
said it
people.
before. What do we
Israel
call it?
Folau got done.
What do,
right?
we, what do we call it? But
What is-
it's the subtle racism. It's that
That's right, covert.
covert racism.
Covert.
That's
And
what you-
in
that's
the
it.
United Snakes of America, you'll have the cats, you know, tell you, when it's here, N-word, I don't like you anyway.
Yeah.
Get off my property, I'll
In your
blast you.
face.
Listen,
Yeah,
you know
so
what? You know what it is? It's
But
just
here-
social media. Like perfect example. We have not had a prime minister serve his full term since Twitter was invented.
Yeah,
Man,
that's crazy.
Social media.
Hey, that's a crazy stat.
Social media has messed up everything.
The world, yeah.
As cool as it is, like, and as great as it is to like, I lived overseas for 6 years. I kept in touch with family, with FaceTime and Skype or whatever.
Sure, the
As
technology.
cool as it is to like, it could be used for great things. Man, there's too many of these fucking people that like, and I know this is going to sound a little bit harsh. Too many people that don't deserve an opinion. Okay, these people that get offended by every little thing, that they have now found each other online and they've got a voice.
Trollsville.
There you go. These trolls,
But
man.
and you know what? It's a lot, and I think it's the people that were probably born. I don't know what year. So I was born in the 80s. I can still laugh at the word faggot and retard, and I can still see the humor in it because I grew up saying it.
Yeah, but
right?
you could lose your job.
Well, that's right. See, and that's the problem because a lot of people and going back to this Kyle thing. It's words. He didn't hurt anybody. He
Sticks
didn't
and
kill. He didn't
stones.
kill anybody. Nobody lost life.
Yeah.
What he did, he'll have to answer for with whoever he believes in. Everybody else should.
He gave his opinion.
Yeah.
But Rod, you know what?
I mean, it was distasteful. It wasn't
It
in
was.
good taste.
I didn't say
The
it was
opinion,
in good taste.
I think it
was-
started as an opinion and then it continued where it should have stopped. Where he started talking about dumb as dog shit, it shouldn't have gone that far. He should have, because he knows where to stop, where to draw the line. He's done so many jokes, like what I said earlier. That's fucking borderline, bro. Like you can't go any further than that. This was.
Oh, you can.
Well, you can, but without repercussion. And in today's day and age, you can't speak that directly on a live radio station about a belief of somebody's belief.
Well, yeah.
You know, it's and there's codes of conducts. There's things of laws that need to be followed, and things in contracts that are. There's kids listening to these things. You know what I mean? Like it's a prime time radio
Listen,
station in the morning.
I think there's a responsibility when you got that many listeners, but at the end of the day, Israel Folau should never have been sacked.
No.
Kyle shouldn't be sacked.
No, definitely not.
You know, do I agree with what he said? Hell no. I don't agree with anything what he said. But hey.
I concur. He's my friend, though.
Yeah,
but he's have a difference of opinion.
That's what I'm saying.
Opinions are like assholes.
Everybody's got one.
Body
That's right.
has one.
Yeah.
Every single body on the planet, every human body, right? So that means that they're just like you and me.
right.
They're no different than you and I.
100%.
Now, you agree with that 100%? So I would imagine some people might not think that way about the books that tell you what your religion is and how you should act and what you should believe and all that sort of stuff. Because they're written by men. They're written by human beings.
Yeah, but
now, and they said that they've gotten some divine intervention religion, right? Look, here's a little story. When I was a kid,
Let's be specific, though, because we're talking about the Bible here, right?
No, we're talking about all books. I'm talking about all books on the planet that say that that this is the religion and you should be following this and this is the protocol.
Okay.
This is the move. All of those books, not singling out not
a
one
big
of
blanket.
them.
Okay.
I'm talking about religion.
Okay.
I'm talking about these cats that say that they're the sheep herders and you're supposed to be following them because this book says X, Y, Z.
Okay.
Now, for me, coming up as a kid, I was, going to church, in North Philly and all of that sort of stuff. And I do have some ways of stringing words together to mean something. So they thought that I could, do a little preaching and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I thought,
I can imagine you preaching.
But that's all good because I can get my point across. At the end of the day, I was talking to the preacher. I was like, all right, fine. Men have been chosen to put their words into a book, right? And they're the heavyweights. Why can't there be the book of Rod?
Well, there can be.
Right?
There can be. And you probably get a bunch of people to follow you.
And you piss a lot of people off too. But
Yeah, well,
it is what it is.
Listen, man, this is what it is. At the end of the day, I think we when it comes to someone's faith, whether you believe or you don't believe, I think they all push the same message. You know what I mean? Just to be a good person, and like I said,
that's a good point.
I got nothing. They all do, whether it's Hinduism, Buddha, whether you're Buddhist, or Muslim, or Christian, whatever. Even atheist people,
all
that
in
don't
this
believe in
game.
anything.
They're all striving for the same thing.
Everyone just say, "Hey, man, just be a good person."
There's no religion's like you have to murder 5 people by the age of 15.
If you do belong to those religions, get the fuck out.
Tell me, why the hell did you come back to a land down under? Why did you leave that palace and such chivalry? I mean,
know.
laying petals down for women to walk across and such.
Well, man, it's listen, Lebanon was never the end game for me. It was never like forever. Obviously, all my family's here, and but not even just that. Lebanon is only so big, and with me, with my comedy, with radio, I want to reach a certain level, and I can't do that in Lebanon because I kind of reached all my limits 3-4 years into it.
Right.
So I can't say in my mid-30s, that's it. This is the furthest I'm going to go.
Yeah.
So, I had to make a decision. Like, it literally came down to sign the contract for another 3 years or bounce. And it was the toughest decision of my life. Like, I had to fucking I sold everything. I felt like I was selling my life.
Yeah.
You did?
And
in Lebanon too, man, Rod, like you've seen it. It's what a country. In the summertime, I've been there in winter. It's a bit different, but in the summertime, you live your life like you've never lived it in ever. You don't know. You don't even know what living is until you live it.
There's a reason why some of the best restaurants, some of the best night spots in the world are there. I mean, it's not a coincidence. They sure know how to live.
Of course,
they do.
So,
They're for a reasonably poor country. They have a lot of services that people with money.
when it comes to hospitality, listen, I've traveled the whole world. I've traveled all over Europe, the States, North America, Australia. There is no country in the world like Lebanon when it comes to hospitality, you know? Yeah, you haven't even finished your drink. They've replaced it with a new one. Here, I'm saying, excuse me, for like 40 minutes to come get me some fucking bread on the table.
to get a menu.
Like, I've been sitting here, bring me some bread and some oil or something, my man.
But I love when you sit down there and there's food on there's little nuts or corn or carrot on the table, ready to rock. That's it. You don't even wait for it. The food's there.
And downtown, I mean, all over the place was great. I mean, I ate great food everywhere, but downtown Beirut was special.
You know what? There's a spot called Marim Khayil. It's like a pub district.
I ain't gonna say that shit again.
It's like a pub district.
Right.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah. We went through. I'm sure
those little pubs, man.
Listen, if anyone's looking for a tourist destination, I know all the governments will say, "Oh, don't go to Lebanon. There's security warning."
They got some pains in the ass getting in there. A couple of guys looked at me a little strange.
Yeah. But when you do get in, you'll have the time of your life.
Yes.
You certainly will do that. Now, because I was downtown and I was having something to eat, right? And this dude walked up.
Where were you?
I can't remember the damn. It was high powered. Everyone was there. It was
Fella Monkey?
No, I went to that joint too, and I met the cat that owned that joint as well, the Sheik, and we went around. But no, this place was downtown, and it was very, very highly sought after. And I had a table and chair there, and this big dude was standing there looking at me. I'm like, dude, damn, he's about 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", and he's staring at me. I'm looking at him, he looking at me.
Yeah.
So I got the hell up, and I walked over to him, and I looked at him, and he took his sunglasses off. You know who it was? Ronnie Cycli.
Oh shit,
Ronnie Cycli.
man.
Ronnie Cycli is a Lebanese dude, right?
ex-NBA
Is he
player.
the first Lebanese dude to ever play?
First ever
Ronnie
Lebanon.
what?
You don't know Ronnie Cycli?
Ronnie Cycli.
Man,
Bro, he played for the Orlando Miami
No,
Heat.
really?
Yeah, man.
Why don't I know his
Golden
name?
State Warriors, man. This guy was a legend. He was back in the 90s around, like he played in the Jordan era, and he was like one of the dominant centers in the NBA.
Wait a minute. I know you Lebanese. I ain't gonna jump on all over that dominant shit.
He was dominant, man.
He was all right. He was good.
He was good. He was good.
Tough dude. Tough dude.
He wasn't no Elijah Mutombo.
No, but that's dynamite.
Yeah,
You
you're right.
overstretched the mark there.
He's Lebanese. What do you want me to
I
do?
know. That's what
My
we-
second
We have.
cousin.
I'm gonna jump on the same
I know.
bandwagon.
I know.
bro.
That's why I got you sitting
Lebanese
on
guy in the
other side.
NBA. He's my favorite. I didn't even know him until
Listen,
now.
when
so-
I was a kid, I used to love this cat, and now he's like a famous DJ
He's a
touring
DJ.
the world. Yeah.
Riding around town or riding around the world, just playing music and
Yeah,
enjoying
yeah.
himself. So we sat down and we chopped it up for a little bit, and I thought that was real impressive, man. And see Lebanese people doing what they got to do on the court. Now I seen some of your Instagram shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Now you other day you was in Redfern or Surrey Hills somewhere in some little joint talking about basketball. How often do you play, and do you have game?
Oh, that's fucking a bit violent, Rod.
All right. Let me break it down. So you're right. I know he is.
'Cause I'm a
getting-
baller.
He was
getting
like
up
getting
all
the
over.
hands out and
That's right. I
fucking.
want to get his ass on the court right now.
Shit.
You got a ball? You got a hoop?
We can straighten this shit out now, son.
We'll film that shit too.
Yeah, all right. Okay, you on.
Nah. I'm not taking you on, man. You're African American, man. I can't win. You kidding me?
I'm an older African American right now.
Doesn't matter, bro. Doesn't matter.
Bruh.
Listen.
What's your ball like?
This is the thing. It's like if we're going into a competition on who makes the best shawarma, it doesn't matter who's got. Yeah, I've won that shit, right? But listen, I do play. I used to play. My claim to fame was second division, high school. Missed the buzzer beater in the quarterfinals to make the semifinals.
Oh, shit.
But
So you don't get picked to play pickup games at all.
I was never the first guy. But in saying that, from the 3-pointer, I'm a sharpshooter, man, and I'm the dude that you want to give it to when you want 3 points on the scoreboard.
Is that right?
I don't do a lot of defense. I don't move around a lot. I got bad knees.
It's such a Lebanese thing to have.
But you pass that shit to me when I'm open.
Can I ask, why do you have bad knees?
I don't know. It's Lebanese.
I have
thing.
bad knees too.
Yeah.
I'm 31. I got bad knees. I don't know why.
I don't know. I'm not sure, man.
It's,
Speaking of ball, though.
Yes. Who do you like?
I'm old school, man. Chicago Bulls since I
Okay.
could talk.
The GOAT.
And Michael Jordan.
The one,
all right?
100%.
Yeah. I like that we all agree
Yeah,
on that.
definitely.
He is.
know?
He is. These new
No
school
question
cats,
about it.
They have no idea.
They don't know.
What is it, LeBitch James? I mean,
Yeah.
What? Oh, can I say that?
LeBronda.
LeBron.
You can't hate on LeBron.
No, hold up.
No, you.
No one's hating
But he's
on,
not MJ.
on how good
no
he
way.
is.
Never be.
Never.
Come on, man. He follows then unfollows his team on Instagram when he's having an argument with, you fucking little bitch.
I didn't even know was he doing that?
Yeah, when he was with Cleveland,
Come
he had a run in with the GM of Cleveland. He unfollowed them on Instagram. That's a fucking bitch move, right?
That's what you do when you're 14 or 15
Exactly.
as a girl in school.
So, what do you think about the toughness of the NBA nowadays? I mean, the
This is-
players'
sorry, the
skills,
what?
the toughness.
The what?
I know, huh? Soft.
I'm gonna agree there.
Listen, I love basketball.
Talk to me, baby.
I love it. This is the only sport that I follow religiously. Like, you know, I'm watching all the games of the Bulls. I'm watching a couple of other games in the week. This is the only sport that I'm into 100%. Rugby league, I fell off when I moved overseas. AFL, I don't mind it.
Out of sight.
Yeah, whatever. But the NBA, Chicago Bulls, and by the way, 80% of this world right now that's living should be a Chicago Bulls fan, but everyone then went bandwagon on Kobe and the Lakers or Golden State Warriors or whatever. What happened to being true? Everyone followed Chicago in the 90s.
No, they fucking didn't.
Yes,
If they were serious, they followed the Philadelphia 76ers.
Can I be real?
What, Charles Barkley? Because of Barkley?
I gotta side with Anthony.
Julius
Hey, Rod.
Winfield.
To be fair, growing up in Sydney, like I grew up in the 90s. I was playing footy, and I was religiously devoted to rugby
Didn't he just say he don't like fucking football?
No, but this is what I'm saying. But when basketball was made apparent, the one and only Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls was the team you followed because you're here.
Well, Jordan is the one that put basketball on the world map.
That's
I mean, I know Julius Erving, Wilt Chamberlain, all these cats that were amazing at the game, but Michael Jordan was the first dude to wear baggy shorts. The whole team, the whole league followed.
Yeah, because they showed that they had the media presence there that could show the rest of the world that that's what was going down, and that was the fashion. They didn't have the TV like that when the actual greatest player that ever played the game, Wilt Chamberlain, played the game. Everyone, you can't even find shit on him.
Yeah, well, that's
you
the
can't
thing.
see. Can't
I
see
can't
the vision.
comment because I never seen him play.
He was the GOAT.
I've heard him talk about him numerous times.
Yeah.
100 points in high school, 100 points in college, 100 points in the pros.
Listen,
every time he touched the floor, he gave them more than they could handle.
I could go on about MJ and NBA for so long. We could do a whole nother podcast on that. But I want to speak about your boy, your homie Ben Simmons, who I know is a friend of yours, who was the last guest on this podcast, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you got to tread a little bit careful.
Hold on. Before these mics were turned on, Rod's like, yo, man, we're going to be as real as a motherfucker. I'm being as real as a motherfucker right now. Okay? So he's got to check himself.
In what context?
Listen, he's walking around wearing a fucking kangaroo made out of diamonds. Represent for the kangaroo in the World Cup, brother.
Hey.
So you going there, the World Cup.
I want to say a few things, all right?
I'm going to let you get your shit off right now first. I'm going to let you get your shit off.
Ben Simmons, who somehow has forgotten his Australian accent in 3 years.
Survey said wrong answer.
Yeah. Listen, I heard him and his dad on this the podcast. So you should go back and check out that
Controversy
episode.
Corner. We should call this
His
one.
dad has more of an Australian accent than him, and his dad was born in America.
He does.
I was. How long you been in Australia, bro?
I've been coming here since the 1800s.
Okay, no, for real, 20 years.
Yes, plus.
Okay,
25.
He hasn't been in America not even 10 years, not even 7 years, and the dude is talking like Rodney O. All right, so.
He's got a point.
Yeah. Now,
He's got a
all
point.
I'm saying is be real. If you're wearing that kangaroo made out of diamonds around your neck, represent for the kangaroo. Now,
But
World Cup, he left his teammates out to dry.
That's not correct.
All right.
But I'm going to let you get your shit off.
This is the best team that Australia has ever put together, right? In the history of the Australian Boomers. Okay, we've never had this many NBA players on one team. Now, with Ben Simmons' presence on the team, we probably would have won gold in the World Cup. We just missed out on the gold medal game by a few points.
Yeah.
Now...
And you want to lay that on Ben's plate.
Hold up. Because I give him respect because he's a great player. And if we had him, it would have made such a difference. Now, if someone says to me, he's worried about his next season with the thing because he's signed a big contract. Don't give me that shit. I got two words for you. Giannis Antetokounmpo. MVP. He played for Greece, and Greece had no chance of winning. And he is a top 3 player in the NBA. Ben Simmons, with all due respect, ain't a top 10 player in the NBA right now, and he couldn't put it out for Australia. Okay, forgotten his accent, forgotten where he's coming from. And listen, I tell you what, no one can say anything to kind of change my mind because of Giannis.
Ain't nobody can be able to change your motherfucking mind because you just went off and said what you had to say.
If he could drop the mic, he'd drop it.
Listen, Giannis knew that they had no chance at winning. Man, any other player playing for Greece has a second part-time job working at Lucky Souvlaki in the Greek islands. No one else is on that professional level.
Cool in the game.
He still put it out for his country.
But that's cool in the game. Look, Giannis Antetokounmpo can go and play wherever the fuck he wants to, and he can take all the Tatsiki and Tabuli wherever the fuck he wants to.
Shout out to all my friends.
You know what I'm saying? For the Lebanese shit. You can put Lebanese shit on this shit.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, right, my man B is Ben Simmons. You're right. I know the cat, and he's a good kid. He's a great kid.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure
he's
he is.
totally down with Australia, 150%.
Yeah.
But now what happens is that he is not the reigning MVP.
Yeah.
And he has to work on his game to continue to represent himself and Australia in the light with the big diamond shit on his neck that you're talking about. And when they talk about Ben Simmons, they're talking about the biggest Aussie with the biggest contract that is balling right now in the biggest league right now.
We can't forget about Andrew Bogut, first pick in the
but
draft.
Andrew Bogut got chips, but I know he ain't got the chips B got. All right, and at the end of the day, I'm working with Bogut, and I'm gonna,
It's my boy, man.
That's my man. He's gonna be my man soon, right? You know, we're gonna catch up.
Shout out to Andrew Bogut
with the Kings, right? But Bogut did his thing. That's cool in the gang. They all did what they wanted to do. My man Ben has more time. He's gonna be able to play with Australia in the Olympics. He's possibly he can play in other things. We'll see. But at the end of the day, he had to go to work and put in work. A lot more work than your Antetokounmpos and your Bogues and all of those sort of guys. His season, his career is on the up, and it's serious work that needs to be put in now. And he needed to have the time to do that for his professional life. And he's doing that. He's an Aussie kid. He's down with the Aussies.
Listen, and I said, I don't dislike the guy.
No, but you putting out that he like shit on Australia. He didn't shit on Australia. He had to go to fucking work.
Yeah, but I mean, he was posting photos with 2 Chainz.
Yeah. Look,
like he didn't even say, "Hey, good luck." Like, cause I follow him on social media. He wasn't like, "Hey, good luck to my Australian brothers in the World Cup." Man, he was taking.
Would you want him to suck that dick?
He was with 2 Chainz, wearing 2 Chainz, and 2 Chainz had 5 chains. Like, come on.
Okay, so they was maxing out.
Inception upon inception. Hang on. I just want to make a comment about his voice, all right? The accent thing.
Oh, what, Ben?
I went to America. I've been to America a few times. After a few weeks, it gets a bit old trying to speak Australian because they don't understand you. For example, we say water, right?
We say water.
We say water. You guys say water, right? True?
Yeah.
So if you in Australia, a normal conversation, hey, yeah, mate, all right? Give us a water. That's normal. To break that down for the American listeners, hi, mate, how are you? Can I have a bottle of water?
Well, we ain't even gonna say fucking mate.
So after a while, you get a bit over having. I started doing. I was like, can I just get a bottle of water? I just started saying it because I couldn't be bothered trying to break it down.
I worked on radio in a country that there's not many Australians there. Like, right. So, and they are all American educated.
Yes,
so I understand when you want to say water, you say water. Like, and you only need to change your R's. Really, car. Like, I get it, and I say it still after living 6 years. I lived in Lebanon longer than he's been in the state. My accent didn't change. Hugh Jackman, Russell Crowe, these cats been over there 20, 30 years. You can't change the Aussie accent. So when he's rocking up, talking like my man Rodney O.
I could.
But mind you, you still also have to take into account the kid went when he was in high school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're developing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
so
listen,
if you're all
these are old jokes. I'm putting shit on the dude.
I know, but I gotta defend my man.
I'm actually offended.
I gotta defend Australia.
Listen,
they almost won. My man Bogue said they cheated or some shit.
Yeah, he was upset. Post game, you say some shit. Now, I'm heated up, man. I
believe him.
I play in the southwest of Sydney on the courts, and I'm calling cheat, and there's no fucking referee or no fouls.
Like the fucking Mountie Bot coming at you down the court.
Syrian dance.
So, listen, to wrap it up, Ben Simmons, I hope he does play in the Olympics for Australia. Okay, if he doesn't, I'm going back at you, Ben.
And you know what he's gonna do? He probably hit you in the top of the fucking head.
Probably.
With
With his dick, man. He's a big
Listen,
dude.
we're gonna switch. We ain't gonna talk about Ben Simmons' dick on my show. I ain't about that. I ain't gonna talk about no dicks on my show.
I'm glad to hear.
But I will actually go down this road and talk about the biggest cock in the world. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Come on, man. Can you
I want
believe
to
this?
ask you, what's your thoughts? Like, because I mean,
He's a criminal.
because you're like based over here now. Like, do you still take it so personally when it comes to American politics? I know that's your homeland.
Yes, I do. I take it very serious that according to their title, they're the leaders of the free world. And now you got a leader of the free world that's a complete fuck. And he's a criminal.
He's a crazy motherfucker, man.
He's a fucking nutcase.
He's on Adderall.
But you know what? I'm saying that he's just a diversion. The powers that be are just using the proper nut fucking case to be a diversion.
This is interesting that you say that because, you know, like when I was over in Lebanon, I got a chance to meet some pretty high profile people that even when they'd come to visit Lebanon, I met some American politicians, some senators, some ex-senators, and I asked them about you know, what you just said, like how is the president really a diversion, and you know the powers that be, as you like to call them, are making all the moves. Now, something they said to me was very interesting. They said that usually that's the case, but right now, how messed up the politics are and how they can't even form a proper cabinet, and people are going like it's so
chaos.
It's so the instability is crazy. Where cats are getting fired every month.
Chaos.
This is the time where the president has more power than ever.
Well, see, you're talking about him being a president. He's not the fucking president.
I mean, they voted him in, and it's
technically speaking, he's the president. But can I ask you something?
He's a fuck knuckle that is a diversion. He ran his television program into the government and got in. They've, you know, those people that are watching him and believing in him, they voted his ass in with not the popular vote. It was the Electoral College, which is a draconian state of affairs in the United States of America at the present, and they allowed this fucking viper to get in there and do his thing, and he's just a diversion. You know, other shit is being done around the world that we're not hearing about. There are laws that are getting passed in a lot of countries that we're not taking a closer look at, and this guy is just a diversion because all he wanted to do was get in that diamond-studded club up there that the Putins and the rest of the autocrats have to answer to, but he doesn't know them, and Trump thinks that he should be in that club. And that's right.
Can I ask you something though, Rod?
Sure, why not?
As a Lebanese Australian sitting back,
I am a Lebo.
Watching from the outside in. When the whole thing went down with Trump running for the presidency, and the things he was saying, did it not impact you? Does it not fucking feel odd that there's a person up here blatantly speaking out against African Americans? Does that not still...
Ban everyone.
But
he did the Middle East ban. He's trying to build a wall against Mexico. This is the... And I tell you why he won. Have you ever been to the States?
Yeah.
All right, and I'm sure Rod will back me up on this, that America is not... who's living in LA, who's living in Philly, who's living in New York. That's the minorities. Middle America, where you got millions upon millions of people living in these places we don't see, we don't hear of. They're the guys that are getting him over the line. And that's what everyone... When Hillary was like in the lead on the day and everyone's like, oh, she's going to win. There's no chance of Donald winning. I was like... They
haven't gotten to the middle yet.
Yeah, you can't. They're just calling
from the outside in.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I think when it came to voting Hillary or Donald, I mean, either way they went. They're damned if they do. They're damned if they don't. She's not a good person either. I mean, this guy's what?
Do you like him?
No.
Do you like him, B?
No, I don't like anyone that causes division between people.
That's
and
right.
he is a divisive
100% agree with that statement. That's how I feel.
He's divisive.
Come on, man.
Can't do that, man.
We're living in a time how we even started the podcast, just talking about shit, how people are just all up in each other's faces and everyone's being offended and he's not helping that. And each country should have a leader that kind of helps bring people together. But I know I sound like I'm living in a dreamland, but that's what a leader should be aiming to do.
That's true, and I think you're spot on, man. I think everyone's just got to chill the fuck out. There's just too much heat.
They got to get rid of this clown.
Too much heat. But so for racism, I think is probably one of the worst things any country can have, and it's unfortunate that it's everywhere, but it just breeds hatred. And you see all these rallies when he was running for the seat, what he'd be saying to the crowd, and he's saying, "Get that woman out of here." Inciting violence to win your position to get your presidency. That's just straight fucking bullshit. Excuse the language, but it's complete horseshit. Because
did you see your boy Morrison the other day over there? Cheers with him on the Rose Garden, and
yeah, but that's look.
they were fucking hanging out.
Ed nailed it. He nailed it. It shouldn't be divide and conquer. It should be bring everybody together, right? Bring everybody together, bring peace into a country like America that is so chaotic. It's that big. You can't keep poking the fucking bear, mate.
Try listen, you got a room full of 10 people. You can't bring them together. Try bringing nearly 400 million people together. It's impossible.
You got to be smarter, you know. You can't be as abrupt as how Trump's been, because he's just sending shockwaves. And the things, and the Twitter. The only dude he's killing Twitter. You know what I mean? He's offering out other fucking presidents from other countries via Twitter. If you don't stop, we're going to nuke you. Like, shit, man.
Well, Ant touched on it earlier in the podcast as well. The social media has fucked up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so many times I think about just deleting and deactivating all my accounts, but then I think to myself, shit, when I got a show, I got to promote it, right? I got to try and get the word out there. So, you know,
got to be in the game.
You have to, and I don't even post that much. Like
I did 67 posts yesterday. My sister from America told me.
Really?
This guy's on at like 4 a.m. I'll wake up on the shitter at like 6 a.m.
Well, I was picking up your slack while you was becoming a dad,
and I'm seeing his like 5 posts from 3 a.m. Like, what the fuck does this guy do on a Tuesday
Congrats
night?
on becoming a dad.
Thanks,
by the way,
man. Thank you.
Did you have a little boy?
I had a boy. Yeah.
Nice,
fuck, that was one of the most. Oh my god, that experience. Thank you, man. It is one of the most life-changing experiences. You really put everything else aside, talking about whether it's God, Christian, Muslim, whatever. If you believe in a God, when you see a child being born, you know that God exists.
100.
The delicacy, I don't know if that's the word. It's such a delicate process. And then even after the birth, what the baby does and what the body for the mother produces for that baby, it is to a fucking T. The colostrum that needs to...
I was just thinking, I just made all praises for the mothers of all of us all over the world, for the mothers.
They went through the just what the mothers have to do. Like, there's a process where the baby has to latch onto the boob and get what's called colostrum, which is like for 4 days, it's just this liquid that the body, that the mother produces, is just all nutrients and minerals and vitamins that the baby needs.
Man, we could never give birth. Like we were like as tough as we are on the exterior.
No. Let me tell you what my wife had to go through.
Oh my god.
Let me tell you, man. Let me tell you. I'm not going to get into details.
I sometimes have to cancel plans after doing a big shit.
I
like
agree.
A woman's pushing a human out of her body.
Yes. And I'm lactose intolerant. If I have too much dairy, I've got to cancel my plans. Yeah, no, you know what it's like.
Lactose-free milk.
Well, sorry, if you have the full cream shit, your night's cancelled.
Forget about it.
But what my wife went through, man, like she was pushing, fully dilated, and then the doctor had to cut him out. So then she had to go into a surgery, and it's a fucking pretty severe surgery. Her cut is about that big.
Oh my god!
It's almost hip to hip, and man, it was just what they have to go. And even after the breastfeeding and changing, waking up every 2 hours, it is what the women go through. It's such you really see God's handiwork with these women and how the whole process goes,
and that's why I wanted to praise all of the mothers. Because
big props to him, bro. Big props.
Ant is a good man. Ant took his mom's out. Her birthday was the other day.
Thank you, bro.
What'd you do? Awesome, that's great.
I was just in a dinner with the family and stuff, but sorry, I had to postpone the podcast. But thanks for understanding. Man.
No, but mothers come first.
That's priority, bro. That's priority. That's priority.
That's where we all come from. And she is the queen.
You see just the beauty, and then you start to appreciate your parents when you see a child being born, because then you realize, man, just from the first 3 weeks, what my wife's had to go, what we've had to go through with this kid. My parents have had me for 31 years. What I've fucking put them through.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a pain in the ass.
I'm the biggest, bro. Through school, mate, I was terrible. Just that alone, man, I probably took 10 years off my parents' life just through high school. And like, then you take a step back and you're like, fuck, man, I was a piece of shit for most of my.
But you're all right now. You're smelling better.
Oh, definitely.
You're smelling better.
I've showered.
You got any wife and kids? You're gonna make some kids? What's the deal? That's why I had to cut that.
I got a girl, but she lives on the other side of the world. So
where?
Canada.
She's in Canada.
Yeah, I was just in Canada.
No way. How's Canada?
Canada. You never been?
No.
You been to Canada?
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
I took my daughter there. Yeah.
I just watch a lot of shows about Canadians.
Toronto's a great city, man. I did the Montreal Comedy Festival.
Okay, that's huge.
Really?
Yeah.
Who was on that? Who did you do that with?
Man, I did some dope shows. shows. We're going back like a few years now, because the Montreal Comedy Festival is the only invite-only comedy festival in the world. So you have to be invited by the festival.
That's right.
Any other festival, you can put your show on and register your show, whatever. So, I went to this festival, man, and I did shows with, I'm sure you know some of these comedians, Bill Burr, Jimmy Carr.
Yes. Oh, my God. Two kings right there.
Jeff Ross.
Yeah.
Like, I was...
Man.
And shit like... things that I wouldn't imagine. I remember I did a show with Jimmy Carr. We're both on the same lineup, and then the next day, because everyone stays at the same hub, the Hyatt. I think they've changed it this last year, the hotel, but it's the one hub that everyone stays. And like the next day after the show, I'm walking in the lobby, and Jimmy Carr says, "Hey, excuse me, fella," like with his English accent. I'm like, "Hey, man." He's like, "Just want to let you know, you fucking crushed it last night." I'm like, did Jimmy Carr just say I crushed it last night?
That's huge. If Jimmy Carr said that.
Like, so that experience of doing the Montreal Comedy Festival was so dope. And, I was lucky early in my career. I toured with some awesome comedians like Pablo Francisco. I toured America for a couple of months. I was living with him. And
no way. Pablo Francisco?
Such a good dude, man.
Yeah, he's a great comic, man.
Gets overlooked a lot.
Is that where you got did you get the voices? Did you do?
I used to do voices when I was younger.
You had a skit with he did the Arnold Schwarzenegger. The Mike Tyson. Nathan, I want to eat the children.
It's Mike Tyson. I used to do the voices, but it's been many years. I don't really put it in my stand-up anymore.
Has anyone ever stepped up to you and said, "Yo, Ant, that shit wasn't funny"?
Yeah.
And they wanted to give it to you?
But man, when the crowd doesn't laugh, you know that shit's not funny.
Yeah, so how do you deal with that? Because that's fucking...
Well, I mean, that's... And, because now I'm in the Australian scene, I'm kind of seen as a bit of a veteran. There's so many of these young dudes. I was away from the scene for 6 years. I come back now and...
everybody's a comedian.
Well, I mean, there's just so many. And, a lot of them... I see them around, and I see them doing the same 5 minutes wherever they go, or the same 7 minutes, and that's cool. And I guess I was very similar to that. You want to crush every room you go to, but for me now, 16 years into it, which is not a veteran to some, like you're talking about dudes like Bill Burr and Louis C.K. These guys been doing it 30, 40 years. Yeah, man. So, but what I get pleasure from now is trying that new joke for the first time.
Yeah.
And when the audience laugh, even if they laugh just a little bit, knowing that you're onto something. Because now you can start growing the joke. You can start every single little bit of time adding a little bit of salt and pepper on it.
Flavor.
So for me, I know I've got the fucking bag of tricks that I can go into any room and crush, but trying that new shit and falling on your sword and sometimes having not all the not having laughs all the way through, but knowing that, hey, this is going to eventuate into something, that's what I get pleasure from now. So, people not laughing, people saying, that's not that funny, that kind of keeps you in check and helps you grow. So I mean,
you had some good stuff like back when I was young, Rod. I'm talking probably when I was 16, 17, maybe 18.
So 2 years ago.
He had skits that were like jokes that were particularly like targeted to our age demographic and area. So the one with the bet on bricks and all that sort of stuff. That's like the sort of...
That was crazy, that routine.
Hey,
that went viral before there was like YouTube. See, because people were passing it around on the telephone.
I had an MP3 5-minute clip of your fucking... I didn't even know what you looked like.
I remember
just heard it.
I was at a nightclub once and this Irish dude, he was so drunk. He was here in Sydney. He comes up to me and he's like, just some dude, probably off his face. His pupils were bigger than... They look like the anime cartoons. And he came up to me and he's like, "Oh, fucking what nationality are you?" And I'm like, I'm Lebanese. And he says to me, do you put your bet on bricks? And I'm like, hold on.
Put your bet on bricks.
Do you put your bet on bricks? Because I had a joke about how I couldn't afford a car.
Yep.
So I lowered my bed. I put chrome legs on it. I put fluffy dice on the bed head, but I woke up in the morning and my bed was on bricks. So that was the joke, right? Yeah, because I live in Bankstown or whatever. So insurance won't insure my bed. Anyway, so this guy starts saying, "Oh, do you put your fucking bed on bricks?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh, do you have a fluffy dice on the bed?" And I'm like, "Where did you hear that?" And he's like, "I got this fucking level fucker on my phone." And I'm like, "That's me." He's like, "Oh, fuck off, it's not you." And he wouldn't believe that's me. So this was before like YouTube was the common thing.
Yeah,
so
it was way back.
I thought at that stage, I'm like, "Fuck, I've made it from my 5-minute routine." But I was very wrong.
Right.
But
I'll never forget how I started. I swear to God, it's like a vivid dream.
yeah.
I'm not from a place. I'm not from here. I'm from a place called Bankstown. The whole crowd just fucking loses.
I used to have this opening line where I'd come out and speak French. I'd be like, "Bonsoir, je m'appelle Antoine," and then I'd be like, "Oh, fuck it, I'm just a lebo." Old school, man. I mean, listen, if you come out and see my shows, man, they're a lot funnier.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. Where can people come and see your shows, and where can they catch you? Your social media platforms, because brother, it's been absolutely a blast having you on the Rodcast podcast with your crazy funny ass.
I feel like we just started.
I know.
We've been going, man.
For 54 minutes.
Oh, man.
We can open more cans if you want.
Anthony Salame on Instagram, Twitter, all of that stuff, YouTube, Salame, like salami, but with an E, I guess.
Not Salim.
Yeah.
Not Salim Dusty. Salami,
Man, thanks for having me, bro. Like, can I ask you a question? I know before we wrap up, are we on a time limit or anything?
No. I thought you had the bounce, baby.
Well, listen, I mean, I'm hanging with you, bro.
All right, cool in the gang. Let's kick it.
What's your secret, bro? Because you are like the black George Clooney. If I want to be totally honest, you're like the black George Clooney.
Do I need to step out for a minute?
No, he hasn't aged. Seriously, like apart from the little greys, which look like they're artificially put there bro. Because they look so good.
Yeah, do this shit.
Like, yeah, look at our greys. Our greys look like it's fucking...
That's Lebanese
hair
stress.
talks.
We've got Lebanese hair, Lebanese
like
knees.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hair talks in Maroubra.
But
what is it? Yeah, what the fuck is
I know
it?
they
The
say
secret.
black don't crack, but...
Yeah, black don't crack, baby. And you know what? I'm just young at heart, man. I just try. I try to do what I want to do. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to do what everybody else wants me to do. And so I eat when I want to. I stay healthy. I work out when I want to. I get it in when I want to. I make my money how I want to. I'm just living my life until I die, and no one else is in control of it.
I love that, brother. All the respect, all the power. God bless you, man.
Me too.
Now, you asked Ben Simmons a question on the podcast last time.
Mm-hmm.
You said, is he going to get you courtside tickets for the Philly? Are you going to get me courtside tickets for the Kings?
Yeah.
Hey, 2 great points. I'm just waiting for the response.
Set up. It was great.
Popcorn out.
Look, no doubt, man. I can't wait for you. The season is going to start on the 3rd of October. 3rd of October.
Well, you know, I was born in Adelaide, so growing up, I was an Adelaide 36ers fan. Right? And I moved here when I was about 12, so... I've got a big love for the Kings, and I am a Kings fan. I'm kind of split between the two. I'm actually probably more of a Kings fan now than a 36ers fan.
Right.
And now that Bogut's back, I mean, I just love that dude, man. I love what he's done. I mean, a white boy, an Australian white boy.
Putting in work.
First pick in the NBA draft.
Yeah.
Won
a lot of people thought he shouldn't have been, but he was. He was, exactly right. And Bogues has proved it.
And he's a good dude. I like it. He keeps it real.
Well, have you met him?
We've gone back and forth on social media.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's into some of the TV shows I was in, like Swift and Shift Couriers and Fat Pizza, but we have never like crossed paths. No, but I think we will this year.
You will do that because you're going to be and you're back with the O. You're going to be a guest of the O at the New Kingdom. So come and check us out while we
did Bogut. He went back to the gold. Came here, then he went back to Golden State, then came back.
Well, they just called him up and said, "Hey, we need you for the playoffs."
That's right.
And,
exactly.
And he was going in there and putting in work.
He
man.
was, yeah.
Well.
That the caliber of player that he is is a testament right there. You know what I'm saying? He was doing this thing with the Kings.
So he did the Australian thing. He went and played the playoffs, and he went to the World Cup.
Oh, so you back?
He's never gonna let it down.
Listen. Rod knows I'm fucking around. I know I talk some shit about Ben Simmons, but I really hope that he does play for Australia because I think if he does, I think we'll win the gold. Like America.
Yep.
Now, how do you sit between watching the Dream I'm not going to say Dream Team because that was Jordan and Bird back in the 90s. Team USA versus guys, the boomers, like because you've been here for a while now.
Yeah. Look, I went to watch the game. The ownership group from the Kings asked me to come down, and I went and peeped the game out.
Who are you supporting? And I know you're like split, but
100%. I am American. I will be that to the day I die.
Yeah.
But I also have extremely tight allegiance here with the Australian because, look, my ex was the captain of Australia.
That's right.
My daughter is playing here, and she's one. I've helped start the Kings since 1988. I've commentated.
You're the voice.
Well,
no offense to John Laws, but you're the voice, bro.
Oh, thanks, man.
Well,
actually, he actually, John Laws kicked it to me and said it's okay that I could use that tag. You know what I mean?
Oh, good old Johnny boy.
The way he says it, use that tag. Like, shit, I got my hair's just stuck up when he said use that tag.
When he starts a podcast, even just halfway through the things he comes up with, I'm just going, fuck,
I just make it up.
Damn.
Adelaide. I love Adelaide. Some of my best friends are from Adelaide.
Dope place.
That's the first place that I went to when I came to visit Australia, first up. And
very underrated, I think.
It's a very slow place.
Good people, though. Good people.
Yeah.
You know, I got really good friends, not acquaintances. I got thousands of acquaintances, but good friends in Adelaide.
Yeah.
I held basketball back then, the 36ers, the West Adelaide Bearcats, your Al Greens, your Peter, all
Mark Davis.
Mark Davis, one of my best friends.
Really?
Yeah, man.
I used to love that dude.
Indeed, the chairman of the boards. Although he went to a fucked up school. We went to West Philadelphia High School, you know what I'm saying? And I went to Overbrook High School when we were foes.
So he's from Philly too?
Yeah, he's from Philadelphia.
Damn. I remember when Mark David, this was like a clear vision in my mind, when he came close to retiring and he shaved his beard off. I'm like, what? Put the beard back, man. I just knew him for the beard.
He had a beard?
Yeah. Mark Davis had a beard, man. And then he shaved it towards the end of his career, and he looked a lot younger. But
I don't know about that one. Send me a picture of that shit, because I love to see him with a beard.
Yeah. Back in I'm talking like late 80s, early 90s.
Phew, I've never seen him with a beard, so you have a special relationship with MD.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, he was one of my childhood heroes.
He was an awesome player, and he's still down there in Adelaide now. He's still working with the basketball. Yeah.
Which part of Adelaide are you from?
The south. I was from near a place called Hallett Cove. There's this beach over there, Rocky Beach. But like I kept it real as a kid. Like my aspirations were never to play in the NBA. I knew I was never good enough. Yeah. I was like, hopefully I'll make it to the NBL. But when I reached high school, I knew that shit wasn't gonna happen.
There's a height thing. It's a height thing.
No, it's
not. You need the extra. If Andrew Bogut didn't have his height, would he be picked?
So what do you say about Muggsy Bogues? What do you say about Spud Webb? No. What do you say about Casper Ware, who's the point guard now for the Sydney Kings? I mean,
he's dope, man.
Oh, he's a great two-way player. I think he's the best two-way player. But he's not even 6. I don't think 6 foot.
Not even 6 foot, really?
Yeah, he's like 5'11", 6 foot maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm talking Spud Webb's not 6 foot. Muggsy Bogues is not 6 foot.
Muggsy Bogues is like 5'3", 5'4".
Yeah. It's the size of the dog in the fight.
He went through Manute Bowles' legs.
The size of the fight in the dog.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And you're a beast. I'm sure you are.
Ball, look,
let's organize a game of ball. Let's get it happening.
Yes, we're going to do that, man. Because I want to play. I want to play. You know what I'm saying? I want to see where your skill levels at. I know he ain't got none, but
hey.
No.
Hey.
But the listeners, okay, we're being filmed too. Okay, the listeners didn't know who I was saying.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I just had to. Well, you pointed at me, bro. I'm fucking filming this one. So.
Yeah, but I didn't think the listeners didn't know, man. You know.
Well, can I give my podcast a shout out too?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
No, fuck off.
The Anthony Salame podcast show. It's on iTunes, Spotify, all that, SoundCloud, whatever, all that shit. You're
a funny dude.
It's just me riding solo, probably losing my mind into the microphone for about an hour every week. So, but like I said, I'm planning to have some. I've yet to have guests, but I'm planning to have guests, and I'd love for you to come on, man.
Even if it's one of those little video joints that you do on your Instagram. What's your Instagram again?
At Anthony Salame.
Right. So, and you're walking and talking. I can come by and rob your fucking ass one of these times. You know what I mean?
Have you got a stand-up show coming?
I do, man. Listen, I'm always playing around. So if you follow me on my Instagram, you'll be. I'm always posting the dates. So I'm a regular at the Sydney Comedy Store. Shout out to the Sydney Comedy Store, one of the best comedy rooms, not only in Australia but in the world, man.
All right, well, I want to front you. I want to front row.
Hey, whenever you want to come, you guys want to come to a show?
Hell yeah.
Done.
You got tickets.
I want to be saying some shit in the that shit ain't funny, Ant.
Don't make me go.
Don't make you take it there.
Don't fuck up his gig.
Nah,
we can't be that dude.
Never.
Thanks for having me, bro. It's been a pleasure. I mean, we covered so much in so little time, and maybe we can do this again.
Definitely,
my man, the Ant Man. Go check him out. Make sure he's doing this thing. Hey, BB, thank you for doing what you do. This is the Rodcast, and we out of here like last year. Peace, love, and hair grease.